Hey readers, it's me, Mrs. Romero. I know you just saw a really awesome picture of my reading spot, but I wanted to explain some of the cool things I have in my reading spot. Remember, when I pick a reading spot, I'm thinking about all the things that help me be a really great reader. Here are a few things. First things first, comfy chair. Look at this cool chair. It is so squishy and soft and comfortable. This chair helps me sit up straight and be flexible. If I want to lean back, I can lean back, but I'm still able to read my book. My chair is not laying on the floor like those readers that we saw in our other lesson. It helps me be straight and focused. Another part of my reading spot you may have seen is my book box. Your book box doesn't have to look like this. It can be any box, anything that can hold all of your books. Did you notice in my book box? Did I just have one book in my book box? No, I have lots of books in my book box. I have at least 6 or 7 books in my book box. What kind of books are in your book box? Well, I have books with my favorite characters in them. I have books that teach me things about our world. I also have books that I can read really fast. I also have books that are really hard to read. These books are going to help me practice my strategies for becoming awesome readers. I have books that are really fun to read because I love dinosaurs. I have tons of books in my book box. Don't just pick one book, pick lots of books. You also have epic books that you can use for books as well. We'll talk about epic books later, but make sure you have some books to read. Other things I have in my reading spot. A timer. Your timer doesn't have to look like this. Your timer can be something like this. Your timer can be really small, but you're going to need some kind of timer. Your teacher is going to tell you a certain amount of time to read. Make sure you are keeping track of how long you read. We may read for 5 minutes at the beginning of first grade, but after first grade, you should be reading a lot longer than 30 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. You're going to need a timer to tell you that. I also think it's really important to have a journal in your reading journal. Remember, when we read, we don't just read and forget about it. We have to take notes in our journal. We have to make sure that we are understanding what we're reading, and sometimes we may have questions. We have to write them in our journal. We may learn an awesome fact about a dinosaur. You're going to have to write it down. In order to write in a journal, you're going to have something to write with. In my pencil box, I made sure to put pencils, and sometimes our pencils don't have erasers, so I put an extra eraser in here. And sometimes I just like to draw what I read, so I put crayons in here. Make sure you only put things in your reading spot that are going to help you be able to read and learn and understand what you're reading. Last is my favorite part of my reading spot. If you're ready to hear it, go like this. Okay, if you are ready to hear it. My favorite part of my reading spot are my reading buddies. I love using these reading buddies when I'm reading. And we'll talk more about this in another video. I can't wait to see your reading spot.